We look at alternate day fasting approaches. So alternate day fasting involves a fast day where people eat about 500 calories, and that's alternated with something we call a feast day, where people can eat whatever they'd like. The most common way for that people lose weight is through daily calorie restriction, and that involves obviously restricting every day, usually by about 25% of energy needs. But we found that people just can't stick to those diets for very long. So after about 2 months or so, people quit those diets. So we thought, well, what happens, or the real question was, do people really have to diet every day to lose weight? Or can you maybe undergo pretty heavy periods of restriction every other day, which will allow you then to get this kind of like free day between? And we thought maybe it would help people like stick to the diets for longer if they could kind of just get to feel normal every other day. It's definitely beneficial in the sense that obese people lose about 1 to 3 pounds per week, and they also see kind of cardiovascular disease benefits. So they'll see increases in HDL cholesterol, decreases in LDL and triglycerides, as well as reductions in insulin and insulin resistance. So there's cardioprotective and potentially diabetes protective effects. We recently ran a trial comparing it to daily calorie restriction and found that people basically lost the same amount of weight with both those diets. So there wasn't any, we thought there'd be better adherence with alternate day fasting, but there wasn't. We recruited a BMI of 25 to 40, and the ages range from 18 to 65. We actually teased apart our data, so we examined premenopausal versus postmenopausal women, and we found that menopausal women lost twice the amount of weight as premenopausal, so they did a lot better on the diet. Over a course of 6 months, premenopausal women lost about 5% of body weight, whereas postmenopausal lost 10 to 11% of body weight, and they were able to maintain their lean mass and that type of thing. So that was pretty exciting. We also found that there was no negative effects on bone. So we looked at bone markers, and so bone mineral density stayed constant, and no changes in like bone turnover. So basically no negative impact there. We don't know exactly why that happened. I think that postmenopausal women are maybe at an age in their life where they just know what works for them. And when we recruit for these studies, we basically just recruit via posters placed around the university campus, and it says the diet. It's like, oh, come, this is recruitment for an alternate day fasting diet. So maybe they know that that would work for them, opposed to premenopausal women who are still like trying out different kinds of diets. Well, I'd like to run an even longer term study. So the longest we've done so far is a year, and I want to write a grant for a 3-year project. Now, the other question that a lot of people are asking is whether or not time restricted feeding diets work. So that's when you eat within either a 6 or 8 hour window throughout the day. So like 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and to see if that helps people basically restrict without feeling a lot of negative impact from it. So basically all of my research really examines ways of kind of manipulating meal patterns and calorie intake to help people stick to diets for longer. I think with all these diets, people should do what works for them and manipulate the diets, however it works for them. So with alternate day fasting right now, we have people fast every other day, but some people choose to just do 2 days a week or 3 days a week. If anyone wants to actually recommend this diet, just to know that the diet tends to work best in people that aren't snackers. So people that need to eat like every 2 to 3 hours don't do so well. People that tend to go for longer periods of time without eating naturally do really well on the diet. I'd say the first 5 fast days, the first week and a half of the diet is a little tricky. So we find that we get a lot of dropouts during that period, but if you can kind of push through, then we have, basically people are able to stick to it for a pretty long time and lose weight.